different types of light, and we'll start with hard light. Hard light is easy to recognize by looking at the shadows. They are strong with well-defined edges. This type of light is produced by a light source which is small in relation to the subject. The sun is the most common hard light source you will make use of. Even though it's huge, it's small in relation to whatever your subject is. Flash units and strobes with no modifiers also produce hard light. The further the light source is from your subject, the harder the light becomes. Hard light creates greater contrast between the brightest and darkest areas of your composition. You must be most careful setting your metering mode and exposure when photographing in hard light. Your eyes will perceive the contrast differently than your camera will record it. Hard light produces a different mood in photos because certain parts of your composition will be hidden in shadow and the well-lit areas will be very bright. It can be difficult to work with because highlights can end up being too bright and containing no detail. Sometimes this is not important to your photo, but when it is, you must be careful with your exposure and make sure you manage it well. When hitting a textured surface at an angle, hard light will accentuate the textures and details in an object. It's not the most flattering light when you're photographing a person, as it tends to accentuate wrinkles and skin blemishes. Find something to photograph that's portable. You'll take photos of the same subject tomorrow but in different lighting. Take your subject to a sunny place. Position it so you can see a significant amount of shadow in your frame. Make a series of photographs while experimenting some more with practice with the various exposure and metering modes. As you take your photos for this challenge, use your viewfinder for some and your monitor to compose others in this bright, high-contrast light. Do you find that it can be difficult to see your monitor? Take good notes so you can remember what settings you are using and why you chose them. Key points from this lesson are: hard light causes strong shadows with well-defined edges. Hard light creates greater contrast between the brightest and darker areas of your composition. Hard light produces a different mood in photographs than soft light. In this lesson, you'll learn about the other type of light, which is soft light. Soft light produces shadows with soft, undefined edges. This type of light is made by a source that's relatively large compared with your subject. The closer a light is to your subject, the softer it will appear and the softer the shadows will be. Sunlight is softened by clouds. On an overcast day, you will not see hard shadows. In open shade, the light is also soft and sometimes you will see very little or no shadow. Window light with no direct sunshine is also lovely soft light. Modifiers such as softboxes, umbrellas, diffusion cloth, etc. are often used to soften studio strobes and flash. The type of modifier used can significantly affect the quality of light and how soft it is. There are varying degrees of soft light depending on the amount and type of diffusion that occurs between the light source and your subject. Heavy overcast skies make for softer light than when there's only light cloud. The various kinds of studio light modifiers all produce a different softness of light. Soft light is more flattering for portraits. It tends not to show up wrinkles and blemishes like hard light does. Shadows on your subject's face will be less intense and the edges will be softer. However, if the light is very diffused, it can appear too flat and dull. Learning to control how soft or hard light appears is an essential skill for a photographer. Soft light tends to create a more relaxed or gentle mood in photos compared to hard light. If it's a sunny day, move your subject close to the edge of the shade, near to the sunshine for some photos. Move it deeper into the shade for others. Continue to experiment with your exposure settings and metering mode. Make some photos in aperture priority and some in shutter priority so you can compare them. If you're keen and have time, take some more photos using manual exposure mode. Practice using the various exposure meter settings and don't forget to make good notes so you can match them with your photos when you view them on your computer later on. Key points from this lesson are: soft light produces shadows with soft, undefined edges. It's produced when a hard light source is diffused. Clouds on a sunny day diffuse light, so do softboxes, umbrellas, or other accessories for studio lights or flash.